Hello everybody, this is Little Ninja, and welcome back to another episode of Ninja's Empire. In the last episode, we built this iron farm. So we basically doubled the output of the iron farm, and I destroyed the minecart track that went up there, and it left a ton of ghost blocks. So the first thing I have to do is go up there and clean those. But today I want to start work on something a little bit different. I want to do some animal farms. And I think I'm going to start with cows because what got me started on this was I need leather to finish out the map that is in that house just over there. And then the second thing I want to do is sheep because I want dyed wools for, just different building projects, making stuff look pretty. I'm going to go up there and clean those, and then we'll go out and see if we can find ourselves a pair of cows. So I was just pillaring my way up here, and I looked down, and that is really quite a view. This place is really starting to come together, and I know the sun is just going down, and so it's all dark, but, just look at that. We've got a nice layout with the paths. Once we get a couple more houses in there, and the barn in this area, which is where I plan to put it, and then, I'll build a really big barn here, and we can put all the animal farms in it, or at least most of them. It'll really start filling this place up, and looking more like a village and less just like a big, wall around, a pumpkin farm and an iron farm and that creeper. So anyway, got to clear out these blocks and then get back to work. Right, so the sky is once again clear, and I've been thinking about where I'm going to get cows, and I realized that I'm going to need a wheat farm as well. So as soon as I get the cows in here, I'm going to have to find a way to get wheat. And I don't have a bone meal farm, so I'm going to have to probably just basically make a really big field of wheat, or add it onto that farm right there and have a villager-powered wheat farm. But the other thing was, I have no way to get cows in here. Every time so far since I built this wall, I have gone through it by breaking blocks and replacing them later. And this is going to have to come to an end. So we're going to have to build a gate here. I'm going to do some research and see if there's a redstone design I want to use, and or if I just want to use like fence gates or whatever. But I'm going to make a gate here so that mobs can't just wander in and out, and then we'll go find some cows. So I found a design by Mumbo Jumbo, like a 3x3 falling gravel door. And I made it, I built it in here, and I just couldn't get the triple piston extender to work because I am a redstone noob, as you guys probably know. So instead, I just did this. And is it pretty? No. One would argue that it is in fact not pretty, but it works, which is good enough for me. So now we can build the path that goes from here over to there, and then we can finally get around to doing what we were actually supposed to do in the first place, which is find a couple of cows and bring them over here. So I put the path in and the bushes and switched this fence out for a cobblestone wall, and I think it looks much better that way. And I put a lever over here just for symmetry. It doesn't do anything, but that works great. So now add a few details maybe. Yes, and this birch forest out here, or it's not a forest, I guess it's a planting, is going to have to go because it is in the way. But that can wait for later. I'm going to go find cows right this very instant. Well, I found a whole herd of cows, and the sheep joined in the party too on the way home. Look at their little faces. They look so expectant. Okay, so the next thing I've got to do is build these guys a barn. And separate them off into pens because obviously we can't just have them wandering around the compound. So I need to figure out how big it's going to be. Like, do I want pigs and sheep and cows all in the same barn, or do I want like a different barn for every one? And I need to do a little bit of planning before I start building, and then once I decide exactly how I want to do it, I'll lay it out and show you what it's going to be like. So I laid out the size of the barn, and I'm not going to put the sheep in here at all. I decided that I want a proper sheep farm, like with all the 16 colors and all that stuff. So that's going to take up a whole episode by itself. In here, what I'm going to do is have a path down here, and I'm going to go with this grass path, something like that, and then down here as well, and have the back end of the barn, the back half, fenced off for the cows, and then up here we can do, like, I don't know, maybe a stable for a horse, a feed room, and a chicken farm or something like that. So I'm still not quite sure on what design I'm going to go for. I think maybe similar to that, except a little more like a barn and less like a gazebo, which I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that. I think it's going to be one of those things that sort of builds itself. Like, I'll just get started and with trial and error figure out something that I like. Well, it's definitely coming together. I've got the cows in their pen, and over here I use the spruce logs as the edge of the building because the dirt drops down here, and I like the way it looks with the fence on top of the spruce, and so I put them the rest of the way around as well. And I was going to do that over here, but in order to keep stuff from wandering in here, if there's a fence here, I'm going to have to terraform this back, like against the path, and then out, like this. And I think what I'm going to do instead is just leave the dirt like it is and make this a solid wall, and it can be like a feed room of some kind. And then we can do a chicken farm over here with regular fence. And I think I'm going to try to use some acacia logs in here because the bark color has sort of a dusty color to it, and I think it would go well with the barn feel. And that looks amazing. I love the contrast between the light gray and then the dark brown. And in here we'll have probably a stairway going up, and then we can fill this in with slabs like this, and maybe put glowstone in here and there for lighting. If you'll notice, in the pasture I did glowstone under bushes to light it up and keep mobs spawning in, and I had 3 eggs in my chest and I got 1 chicken, so I'm gonna have to go looking for chickens as well. But yeah, I'll finish out this room. It needs some more windows and a few chests and things like that, and then the stairwell and the ceiling up here, and then we can finish out the top story, build these up further. I might actually remove this log and take the posts on up through, make it look more realistic, and then we can do the roof. So the second level is done, and I think I'm going to just leave it like this and not put any glowstone in. It looks just a little moody, and I think it goes well with the barn appeal. So as far as the roof, I'm a little bit stuck. I think maybe I'll try to do like an open type roof and repeat this pattern with the acacia wood, and then but leave it open rather than closing it in like this. And then I'll try my best to build a gambrel and see what it looks like. But yeah, I'm really not sure. I'm gonna have to do a bunch more acacia farming. I set up a temporary plot over here, and I'm just farming it as I need it, basically. Right, so this is the third layer, and there's no supports under here, so I didn't turn these logs because one of these beams has to run through the whole way from side to side, and so the short one runs through, and then the long ones just connect to that. And that is, I think, what the roof line I'm going to go for. It works. It actually looks really rounded, even though technically from that point to that point, and then from that point to that point are the same angle. So there's like an angle there and an angle there. It still looks more like half a circle than like an actual barn roof. But I think it fits well, and so I'm just going to stick to the theme, I guess, and do the dark oak with the birch trimming. And yeah, so like I'll do an arch like that and make the arches a little thicker, like here, here, and there, and then at the end, and then the roof will be above that, and maybe do a beam across here, so like the arch will, I don't know if I can explain it, the arch will come down from the roof, at all 4 places. Actually, it'd just be better to show you. So basically like this. So the roof runs along at that line, and then the beams come down like that at every post. So yeah, now I've just got another big roof to do. I feel like I did a big roof just really recently somewhere around here. We are not quite halfway done with the roof yet. The stairs all still need to be added up there. And I am completely out of dark oak wood. And I don't know if you guys remember, in the first episode, we had like a, almost 3 chests full of it. Like the logs, not just the planks. So we have burned through that stuff like crazy. So like I used it up there, I used it on that roof, this roof. I used a bunch in the villager trading center. I used it on that roof. Anyway, I seem to like dark oak a lot. So I am going to spend a little while here just farming it. So yeah, this is going to take forever. Why are roofs? Roofs are my trouble children, my problem kids. I can't seem to get away from it. Like every roof I build is it just causes me issues. I think I need to my next base I'm gonna build it underground. No more roofs for me, never. So it only took me about an hour to farm all this oak wood, and I finished the roof, and it looks pretty good, at least from the inside. I haven't actually looked at it from the outside now that it's finished. And of course it's raining, which is just perfect. Hides all the imperfections. Yeah, that actually looks more or less like a barn. Now the thing to do would be the basement. The building of the barn itself is finished, but I want to do a basement. And you thought the whole time that I was going to come in here manually and breed these cows up and then kill them off. Oh no, these are just for display. In the basement, I'm going to have like an automatic machine to do it all for me. So let's see. If I put the basement, well, obviously the entrance is going to be here, the stairs going down, and then it will be under the pasture over there, where the actual cow farm machine is. And so I've got to clear out a big open area down through here this way, and so I'll clear it out, and then I'll show you what I want to build down in here. And there it is. Believe it or not, that is the entirety of the machine. So what it does is it uses the max entity cramming rule, which is essentially a game rule that says you can only have a certain amount of mobs in a certain amount of space before they begin to suffocate in each other. And I think it's like, I'm not even sure, 25 or 30, something like that. So we'll drop a couple cows out of the pasture, which is 1 block up here, and stick them in there and then breed them. And once we reach the entity cramming cap, every time we breed them and the baby comes out, one of the adults will die, and his leather and beef will go into the hopper and go into this chest, and then we can cook the beef right there. And yeah, it's really small. Now I just have to decorate this room and get 2 of those cows up there down into that hole, and then figure out where in the world I'm going to get enough of wheat to breed all of these cows. I just discovered something kind of funny. You can milk these cows apparently indefinitely. So like you just hold down right click, and this is basically me in real life. I'm just drinking gallons of milk out of this cow. So I finished this room, and I used the oak logs in a crosshatch pattern. It's pretty busy, but I think once we cover it up, put some chests in here, and especially if you only see a little bit of it, it's not so bad. So this room is entirely done, and I just need to breed these cows up until they reach the max entity cramming limit. And then I also need to clear out the yard. It's full of acacia trees and dark oak trees, so I'm going to cut all of those down. Well, the yard is looking much better, and now you can see the barn in the daylight. And man, I really like this build. I really like the way it's open. You can sort of see up in there. I think it looks really cool. Anyway, so now we've got our cow breeder working, and we've got our cows in this pen here, and I need to go find more chickens. So I'm going to go grab some seeds and go out wandering and see if I can find any to bring back here so that we can have a chicken farm as well. Well, I went out and found some chickens and brought them back, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to close this side of the pen off and make it like that room there, and then this side will be a pen for a couple display chickens like we have those cows, and then in here I'm going to have the chicken farm that was built by Suzuma, and of course I'll put the link to his tutorial down in the description. So that thing is actually just the perfect size to fit in here. It's 3 wide and 6 long, so it's going to fit wall to wall and out, and we'll have like a 2 wide gap here to walk back and forth in. So I'm just going to go ahead and build the whole thing, and then I'll show you how it works. So the farm is done, and here's how it works. We've got cedar chickens in here, and so I'll breed these up until they reach the entity cramming limit, and then when they lay eggs, they go into that hopper and into that dispenser right there. And they get shot out into that half slab space, and baby chickens can stand in that half slab, and every time that something goes through that hopper, that lava ticks. So any chicken that grows up will have its head up in this block right here and will burn by the lava, and its cooked chicken and feathers will go through a hopper that's under this half slab. And yeah, that's basically how it works. Very simple. And then into this chest. And as you can see, the lava doesn't burn any drops that go through there. So now I've just got to cover up this and then do the room here and make it like this one. And I might go with acacia on the floor rather than this oak. Just switch it up a little bit. And man, I just love this texture. I love that color too. I just think it looks really good in a barn. So this room is completely done. It's working. The chickens are over here in their pen, and up here I put a trapdoor so that I can access and to breed them. And actually I much prefer this acacia floor to that oak, but I'm afraid having them in both places, or having acacia in both places, would be just too much gray. So that is going to be all for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next one.